There's a lot of things that go into being a successful TCG. I think you might be shocked at what I think is number one. Well, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. I hope you're having yourself a fantastic day or evening or night or wherever you find yourself today. My name is Louie. Today we're going to talk about the most important thing to grow a TCG. And that thing, I'm going to spoil it for you right now, that thing is you. You watching this video, you are the most important thing to a successful TCG. Now let me tell you why. If you're watching this, you are part of a very, very high percentage, I guess it would be low percentage. You are in the very high percentage of people who are engaged with the hobby that you are into. The majority of people who play TCGs do not participate in trading card game content. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, the majority of the people who do this are not in those spaces. In fact, the majority of people, if we use Magic the Gathering as the standard, the majority of the people who play the game don't even play at a local game store. This is a tweet from May 14th of 2021 where Mark Rosewater responded to Saffron Olive, and he said, for example, less than 10% of Magic players have ever played in a sanctioned tournament. So this is where I'm getting at. So most people don't do the social media, most people don't play in an LGS, and that you are a messenger to people to grow the game, whatever game it is that you love, whatever game it is that you're passionate about. For those of you who are passionate about a bunch of games, I really think like we're moving into this world where the TCG world is looking a lot more like the board game world of the early 2008, 2010, 2012 years, where people were playing all sorts of board games. They had board game clubs and they were inviting their friends over to play new games and all this stuff. You are the messenger that will represent these games at your LGS. So I wanted to have a few ideas for you of how you can be a better ambassador, a better messenger for whatever product, whatever game that you're interested in. Because as important as I think people think content creators are, it is so much more important and so much more effective if you as a viewer, you as a person in the trading card game world are inviting and encouraging and somebody that other people want to play games with and somebody that other people want to follow and join into. So here's some ways that I think that you can encourage other people to engage in the hobby that you love. And let's start here. Why would you want to do that? Well, trading card games, I don't know if you know this, but it's not like the most popular thing in the world. I was recently paying attention to some of the video game trends and watching some of the video game content creators. I was blown away at the vast largeness of their YouTube channels and the absolute massivity that is the video game industry. Video games are essential and are on the they are pop culture phenomenons. They are things that are popular. Trading card games, not so much. And so if you want to have people to play with, if you want to be able to engage in the hobby, if you want your local game store scene to grow, or if you want your local group to be able to grow, you're going to need to do some work. And it's going to be more work than just like inviting somebody to whatever tournament. So here's some things that I think you should do. Number one is invite somebody to play. And this doesn't necessarily mean invite somebody to a tournament or whatever, but when you go to your LGS, and you see, and this is, every time I've ever walked into an LGS, there's always a group of people over here and a group of people over there. Then there's some guy just sorting some cards over here, and on the other side, it's like spread out. And so my challenge to you is that next time you're at your LGS, find somebody who's not doing something important, bring an extra deck of whatever your favorite trading card game is, and say, hey, would you like to learn how to play this game? Would you like to sit down and learn how to play? Maybe it's somebody, a friend online, and you haven't connected with this friend for a long time. It's an old Magic the Gathering buddy who you guys have parted ways or you moved or whatever. Maybe it's been like, hey man, you want to download Tabletop Simulator and hang out and play one of these new games and try it out together over Discord or whatever. But invite a friend to play a game that you love, that you can teach, that you can encourage them, that you can enjoy with them. Take a chance at inviting somebody to play. Don't just go and sit on your phone at the LGS or, after all the rounds, just pack up and go home as soon as possible. But sit around and wait for those people who are on the fence and maybe are looking in and offer to play a game with them. And then number 2 would be to gift them a pack or a deck or even a bundle. I mean, there are some amazing like products out there. Like the starter decks are amazing. 2-player Legions has an amazing 2-player starter deck. There's gift bundles. There's Magic the Gathering has those gift bundles. There's amazing products there. I don't think they do dual decks anymore. There's amazing products out there for people that are great entry-level items that cost 10, 15, 20 bucks. And those are perfect because having a little bit of ownership in the game, maybe even encourage, you split it with them 50-50 or whatever, but having a little bit of ownership in a game really goes a long way. If they can play a game with you, and then they go home and they're sitting around, and they're watching some TV, and they're like, oh man, they're flipping through those cards again, and it starts to click, right? Like, I don't know if you've ever, of course you've learned how to play a game before. Whenever you learn how to play a game and it's just not clicking while you're playing it, and then later you're like, it just starts clicking in your head. If you're holding the cards, you can go back and look at that. So actually buying them a physical item, and all this stuff is so cheap, and I know tons of stores have plenty of Flesh and Blood Blitz decks and plenty of, Crypto Nation 2nd edition theme decks. Like, there's plenty of those to go around, so it should be very easy for you to get a hold of them. And so here's the last thing. I think this is where I want to hammer in a little bit more on this video. And that is this, is that I end every video saying be kind to the people around you. And sometimes it's just like something I do to close out the video. It's, something similar every time. Sometimes it's just a reminder to me in my life just to go through my daily life and be kind to people. But the reason that it started on this channel, the reason that I originally came up with this thought of like, hey, be kind to the people around you, is actually an interaction that I had at an LGS when I went to go play Commander for the first time. I had been away from Magic the Gathering for like 4 years. I came back and I was like, I want to play Commander. So I showed up to a Commander group and I walked in and I asked if I could play, and nobody even talked to me. Nobody even cared. It was like I didn't exist in the room. And if you want your game, whatever it is that you love, to be successful, you've got to be a good person. You've got to be somebody that somebody wants to interact with, that somebody leaves feeling excited about, that somebody leaves feeling like they had a good interaction with. And you can do that. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how many cards you have. It doesn't matter how much, whatever you have. All that matters is at the end of that interaction, did they feel like they were respected? Did they feel like they were treated well? At the end of the day, everyone just wants to be treated well. And so if you're a community, a trading card game community, you don't treat people well, and you're constantly bickering and constantly fighting or making, whatever, or dissing people or, adding people. People don't want to be involved in that community. People want to be involved in communities where people are kind to each other. They want to go in and feel respected and valued and appreciated. And so here's how you can do that. Start some dialogue. If you want the game that you love to succeed, be the most kind person in the room of your LGS. Be the person that makes jokes and encourages people and asks how their day was. Don't go over there and sit in the corner, or go talk to the person that's sitting in the corner and ask them how their life's going, and just treat people with kindness. And from being kind, people are going to naturally want to be a part of whatever thing that you're doing. And so if you're kind to the people around you, I think that is the biggest way that you can bring people into this game, or in whatever game that it is. And just remember that you are a messenger that represents the game. And all these game companies, they want to have some power at your LGS, and the truth is they don't. These are just boxes on a shelf. But what's important is the people who are representing those boxes. And this is going to be what makes or breaks whatever game it is at your LGS, is how do you represent that product. So just a little different thing. Again, I think you, as somebody who is enfranchised in whatever game it is that you love, are so essential to the success of the game, both in your LGS, but all this stuff also applies online. When you're in a Facebook, I've seen people leave Facebook groups just because of the bickering and the complaining and the whatever. And so if you're kind to the people around you, I think it's going to go a long way. Anyway, hope you're having yourself a fantastic day. Again, remember to be kind to the people around you. Let me know what you think are the most important ways that you can be an ambassador for these TCGs in your area. Look at what this stupid head looks like without a hat. Listen, if you need yourself a hat, it's really great. Covers up your hair. You don't need to do anything about it. I got a bunch of Kitchen Table TCG hats available still, and they say be kind to the people around you on the bottom of the hat. So it's got a pocket there, it's got laces, and it's got Kitchen Table TCG on it. Anyway, if you want a hat, CavDainsMarket.com. I'll leave a link in the comment section. Hope you have a great day.